I can see you. Ah, here you are. Lesson number 8. Here we go. It's a very special one, this one, because ooh, yes, there we go. Because we're going to do a little bit of baking as well. Ooh, and you can join in at home if you have the ingredients, and you have some adult supervision as well. Whilst the cake is baking in the oven, we can then do some splendid learning with the maths, doing multiplication in our heads today. If you would like to just skip forward to that, you may do so now. For the rest of you, come and join me in the kitchen. Ooh. Okay, so what you will need is a mixer or a spoon, 2 tablespoons of milk, 3 eggs beaten, 175 grams of self-raising flour, 300 grams of caster sugar or normal granulated sugar, 1 rounded teaspoon of baking powder, 50 grams of cocoa dissolved in 6 tablespoons of boiling water, 100 grams of softened butter cut into cubes, a mixing bowl, and a sieve. Now, can you remember our science lessons, boys and girls, in class 22, where we were looking at dissolving sugar in water, and we found that sugar dissolves quicker in hot water. So that's precisely why we use boiling water, 6 tablespoons, with the cocoa, because it helps dissolve that cocoa into the cake, so it's nice and chocolatey throughout the cake. Okay, first things first, just add all the liquid. So I'm going to do the dissolved cocoa first, then the eggs go in, then the 2 tablespoons of milk, sifted flour. Just bung it all in one go. Good tip is just to bang the sieve with the palm of your heel, the heel of your palm rather. And add my butter, softened butter, don't forget. All the sugar, a rounded teaspoon of baking powder, about that. Put it all in. Then we mix, either with the mixer or by hand. Might be easier if you put the baking powder in with the flour next time. I forgot to do that. You mix it with the flour, just helps it to be incorporated into the cake. So you can see it's starting to come together. So you want to keep mixing until you can't see any lumps, and you don't want any flour either. This is where the mixer comes into its own, really, because it helps to mix it all together as quickly as possible with minimal effort. Okay, this is the perfect consistency now. So you don't want to overbeat it, or else it's going to it'll rise too much. There'll be too much air in there, and it might collapse your cake. So once you've got this kind of consistency and it's a nice light brown and it's fairly smooth all throughout, that's pretty much it. And you just bung it in your cake tin, which we need to grease in a minute. Okay, I forgot to tell you too, you need to make sure you have a baking tin. Now this one is 20 centimeters in diameter, or 8 inches, this pan. And what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of butter, and I'm just going to spread that, just smother it on the bottom and on the sides. But we don't want big globules of butter, because that will burn and make your cake a bit bitter on the sides. Okay, as you can see, I've greased all down the sides and on the bottom, so now it is ready for the cake mix. Pour it in. Oh, look at that. Oh, lovely. Just scrape it from the bottom. Middle. Oh, chocolate goodness. And that is all ready to go into the oven. The oven needed to be put on 160 degrees before you started mixing, so that it had a chance to heat up. So I'm just going to pop this in the oven now. I've got a second one in there as well, so I'm feeling extra greedy, making a 2-tiered cake with this chocolate cake. And that's pretty much it. So it's going to take about 30 minutes, about 35. I'll show you what it looks like when it's cooked, alright? So that you don't take it out too early or too late. Alright, in the meantime, we've got some time to do some maths. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so we're going to look at multiplying multiples of 10, 100 and 1,000 in our heads. Cool. Alright, so here's the first one. Look, we've got some examples. We've got 500 times by 60, 70 times by 40, 300 times by 2,000. I'm going to show you a nice, cool little trick that you can use to do this in your head without using any written method at all. And it's so easy. So let me show you here with 500 times by 60. So instead of trying to do this in your head straight away, 500 times by 60, that's quite tricky. So what we've done here is we've partitioned first. So how has 500 been made up? So I've split it up into 5 times 100. And for 60, we know that we can make that with 6 times 10. And now, with all of those, I'm now going to rearrange them, okay, using the commutative law of mathematics. I'm going to do them in a different order. So I'm going to do 5 times 6 first, okay? Do that first and use our known facts. And that makes 30, of course. And then we're going to times it by 110, which we know how to do now, when we just shift that number to the left. So let's have a look. This is what it could look like. We're going to do 30 times by the 10 first. So 30 times the 10 makes 300. Then I'm going to times it by the 100 and shift it 2 columns to the left. I put another 2 zeros on it and it becomes 30,000. Nice and easy. Okay, let's do another one. 70 times 40. So same again, we're going to partition each of those numbers. 7 times 10 times 4 times 10. Then we're going to put the 4 and the 7 together to use a known number fact, which is 28. And we're simply going to times it by 10 twice. So we're going to shift 28 twice to the left. Okay, i.e. put 2 zeros on the end in a way. So here we go, 28 times by 10 makes 2,800. Okay, let's do the third example, 300 times by 2,000. Looks really difficult, but again, it's probably the easiest one of the lot. 3 times 100, so we're going to partition that into 3 times 100, and the 2,000, we're going to partition that into 2 times 1,000. We're going to do the 3 times 2 to make 6 first, then we're going to times it by the 100 to make 600, then we're going to times it by the 1,000 because it's got 3 zeros. We're literally just going to put those 3 zeros on the end to make 600,000. Boom. Okay, boys and girls, your task is to answer these 8 questions. I have number 1 is 30 times 50. Number 2, 20 times 300. Number 3, 7 times 5,000. Number 4, 400 times by 3. Number 5, 700 times by 30. Number 6, 2,000 times by 40. Number 7, 300 times by 400. And number 8, 90 times 90. And then I want you to come up with 4 of your own to give to me. Time for you to be the teacher. But you must know the answer before you give it to me, so you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Alright, so make sure you copy these down, boys and girls, and bring it in on Wednesday, no later. Thanks. Have fun. Okay, now we've done our maths, let's go check on the cakes. Ooh. Okay, right, just come out of the oven. Let's just see if they are cakes. Now, cooked rather. So I'm going to get a cocktail stick, okay, or you can get a really sharp knife, make sure it's clean. I'm just going to put it all the way in, bring it back out, and if it's clean, like this one, then it is pretty much baked all the way through. And there you go, just to check. This one, however, this one needs a little bit more time, I think. Yeah, see? So it comes out, if it doesn't come out clean, that needs at least another 5 more minutes. Let's go, put it back in. Yum yum. First things first, make sure that all the sides are not sticking to the side, all the cake is not sticking to the sides, by just getting a sharp knife and just very delicately just go around the sides and cut them just so that they're not sticking. And then this one here is a spring-loaded one. All I simply do is just undo that clip and it just peels off lovely like that. Now these have been cooled for at least 20 minutes, so it's cool to the touch. All right, and this one, yeah, it's got just a bottom here. So what you have to do is kind of put your fingers underneath and push it like that, just to free it up. Then you use a, you can use a glass, and we're going to put that on the base. And watch this, bit of a magic trick. You just slot it through like so. And it it should just come out. There we go, like so. Alright, enjoy people, can't wait to taste them.